Today we're going to be doing a flip through of the tarot deck Before Tarot by Corrine Kenner. We already did a review of the After Tarot deck, and there is a video on my page of that flip through. But today we're going to be doing the Tarot One Moment Before by Corrine Kenner, but this artwork is different. This illustrator, or the illustrators of this tarot deck, are different than the After Tarot. This artwork was by Ian and Simona Rossi. Now, just like the previous tarot deck by Corrine Kenner, there is a large guidebook, which I absolutely recommend people read their guidebooks because it gives you so much insight as to the meaning of the cards, and especially for this one, it is just so insightful. The back of the box reads, "Take a step to the past. Look at the arcana you know with different eyes. The Before Tarot is the mirror of the After Tarot. All the traditional arcana have been seen through a different light. No more are mere snapshots of a present moment, but are living archetypes connected to the flow of time. Only in this way they can tell us their complete story. Every arcana is depicted one moment before the traditional image. All the cards show a slightly different interpretation of the familiar arcana. The meaning is the same, but the card is taken one step back in time to his immediate past. The deck provides an unparalleled version and depth to the traditional images, and also suggests to us how the arcana came to be and what story they are telling. Focusing on the roots of every meaning, the Before Tarot helps the reader to look at the flow of time." So this book was actually set up just slightly different than the After. The After was focused on the numerology, and a lot of the description of the cards was based on the numbers. This guidebook goes in chronological order from major arcana 0 to 21, and then it goes from cups to swords. Traditionally, I think she even points out that cards are given from wands to pentacles in the order and succession of the seasons. Yeah, let's go ahead and dive right in. Like the previous deck, the After Tarot, we had the After Tarot on the right hand side and the regular Rider-Waite on the left hand side to depict the before and after. So this time, in order to kind of have that consistency with time, chronological order, we're going to do the before on the left hand side and the regular Rider-Waite on the right hand side. Let's get started. Here we have the Fool. Moments before he's walking over, it looks like he's reaching for that rose. And it looks like the dog is kind of aloof. The person is aloof on the right-hand side, but in this side, it looks like the dog is chasing after its tail, which it just, I feel like it means a sense of calm. Everybody's just relaxing, walking around, picking roses. The Magician. In the regular Rider-Waite, he has a wand pointing up and his finger pointing down, as above, so below. In the Before Tarot, the wand is on the table and we have this hand coming up with the cups. He's holding on to the sword. The snake, which was on his belt here, is around his neck, but we still see the lemniscus, the infinity sign. There's a monkey holding on to the pentacles. He looks a little scared. This is just moments before this. High Priestess. Here we see an owl, perhaps signifying wisdom. And in like the After Tarot deck, there are keys that she's holding, but there's a flame coming out of these keys. The Empress. We see wheat. Her children are on her. The High Priestess does symbolize fertility. And here we see a winged bird. She seems happy to be with her kids and in nature. The Emperor. In the regular Rider-Waite, he's sitting down holding a conch and an orb of some sort. And in the Before Tarot, there's a lamb. It looks like he's friendly with the lamb. I don't know where the orb went, but if you remember in the After deck, there's a ram at his feet and he's seated, so he's standing here. The Hierophant. In the regular Rider-Waite, it looks like he's about to say something. But here he's being anointed. He's being crowned with the 3 tiers, the 3-tier crown. And they are witnessing this anointment. The Lovers. Here we have Archangel Raphael. In the regular Rider-Waite, the male is looking at her while she looks at the angel. And in the Before Tarot, we have him extending his hand. Perhaps this is right after Adam gave her his rib, so she was created, but here we see the snake whispering to her. The Chariot. Moments before he's ascended, he's getting in. And the Sphinx are low. The Strength card. This is her approach. She's approaching this untamed animal, and she's coming toward it with a wreath with roses and lilies. Roses being passion, lilies being purity. She's wearing white. And again, we see the lemniscate. And then here, it's as though she's still trying. She's managed to touch him. The Hierophant. In the Before Tarot, what we see is the Hermit plucking a star from the sky. And this is a 6-pointed star, so a Star of David, and placing it inside his lantern. And from his high point, he's illuminating, or his wisdom is illuminating those that follow, or those that can see him. He's leading the way. In the Rider-Waite, his staff looks like a stick, but here it's a serpent. It looks like a wand almost. Here is a serpent, and it looks like that figure 8, or one of those sands of time, forget right now what it's called. Here we have the Wheel of Fortune. In the Before Tarot, we see the moon, the moon right here, and the sun. There are no snakes, no Anubis, and no monkey. Justice. In the Before Tarot, the sword is lying on the floor. The scales are off kilter, but it looks like a dove, perhaps holding an olive branch. The Hanged Man. Here we see him with two crows, and both his feet are extended and his arms are down. I'm not sure if he looks more uncomfortable or more comfortable in this one. The Death card. He's walking through a graveyard, and I believe these lights represent souls. This is just before this. Temperance. Just before Temperance holds her 1 foot out and 1 foot in, she has both of her feet in this lagoon. And then here, so what's happening is we can't really see the background. She's crouched down. And in this one, or this angel, I believe this is Temperance, so this is Archangel Michael, possibly. They're standing. So because they're standing, we're able to see far off into the distance. And here we see where she's filling those cups to create, to alchemize. The Devil. Here we see him holding on to those chains. Now, typically these chains are not tight. You can simply remove them because the Devil card tends to represent our addictions and things that we give into temptation. But he seems to have a firmer hold on these chains. The Tower. And the regular Rider-Waite, the Tower has been struck by lightning and there are people falling out. In the Before, we see people going to the Tower while there is a thunderstorm. So one can assume that this tower was seen as refuge. But how sorely mistaken they are. The Star card. Here she is before. And she's pouring one of her vases of water in and one on the ground. The ground looks so lush in both of these. But here, I believe this bird is called an ibis. This bird is a monogamous bird. It's also a very fierce bird. Like it's a territorial bird. She has 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on the ground on both of them. But she's naked, and that nakedness could symbolize loss of inhibitions or not feeling like you need to hide anything. The truth is out in the open. The Moon. Here we see the moon's light maybe calling towards the lobster. And we have both dog and wolf looking on. The sun. Right before the sun is at its highest peak, it looks like it's calmly waking up this child. You see how the sunflowers still haven't completely opened? Because sunflowers tend to follow the sun. Judgment. Just before Judgment plays his horn, he's looking on. And these people look dead. They are dead. The world. Just before the Rider-Waite deck, we see that the world is with her partner. She isn't holding the wands anymore. But we see the fixed zodiac sign being Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo. Ace of Cups. The fish looks like it's jumping out of the cup. This fish is jumping out of the cup in the before, and in the regular Rider-Waite, we have a bird flying in. Hands are never empty, because in the after deck, we see a heart. The Two of Cups. In the before, it seems like he's weighing her out. He has a crown of roses signifying passion. She's wearing white, perhaps signifying purity, and she's wearing a laurel wreath, which perhaps signifies loyalty in this context. But we see a happy home in the background. But we know he makes an offering to her and her to him. The Two of Cups is also one of choice. So it's nice to see that it seems as though this choice that is being made has been weighed. The Three of Cups. Full harvest mode. We have three ladies. One of them is crushing the grapes to pour the wine into the cups. And there is her cup, the one who's crushing the grapes. This can mean they've got flowers in their hair. This could have, like, threes usually have to do with collaboration, but the Three of Cups is usually celebration. And what we could be celebrating is the maiden, the mother, and the crone. So the three phases that a woman goes into. But this is harvest time, so past, present, and future. The Four of Cups. So Four of Cups. In the regular Rider-Waite, it looks as though he's refusing this final cup. But as we see moments before, he was being offered all four of the cups at once. And if you can imagine someone offering you something and you don't get a chance to rest, then you're full. So one can understand why he is not taking the Four of Cups. And moreover, we can understand why he pours it in the after deck. Oh man. This person who's covered in black clothing and a black cloak. Black usually could signify grief. There's a cat who apparently spills over all of these 3 cups. He spills over 3 cups. Don't cry over spilled milk. The Six of Cups. In the Six of Cups, we see in the regular Rider-Waite, he's giving her the flower, a vase, one of the vases. And then just before, it seems, she's placing flowers inside of the empty vases. The Seven of Cups, wish fulfillment or choices. In this case, I would say this person is darkened here. And here, he has to make a choice between what's inside these 7 cups. Here, he's making a wish. Perhaps he's hoping, he's making wishes as to what's inside so he can choose. And in the after, we notice that he chooses money. And here we can kind of see why. He's got patches in his clothing, so he isn't rich. His belt is made out of rope. The Eight of Cups. This could be someone who's passing by and notices the cups and just drinks a cup and moves on. He doesn't feel tied to these cups. Here we have the merchant, the innkeeper, filling the glass, the 9 cups with water. And behind it, we see children. Perhaps when he sits, they've snuck some water out of those. The 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups is a happy card, but I think it's also very realistically depicted here, where we have an entire family, and as a family, they're running from the rain. I don't see any homes, so they look like they probably are far from their home. But as long as they stick together, everything's going to be fine. Rainy days don't last forever. The Page of Cups. Here we see a bird dropping a fish into the Page of Cups. This is a friendly gesture, an offering. The Knight of Cups. In the regular Rider-Waite, he's crossing through different terrain. But just before, this female offers him the cup, and he takes it. The Queen of Cups. She's barefoot. She's barefoot, and it looks like a dolphin is coming up with her chalice and is giving it to her, and she's taking it. Whereas in the regular Rider-Waite, it looks like she's examining it. She's just taken it, and now she's examining what she has in her hands. The King of Cups. There's a lot of birds and a lot of air, but kings in general are smart, and air, anything that symbolizes air usually means intellect. So we know if he's a king, he's a smart man. But here we see like a mystical cloud with a hand coming out of it. Now that could be the magician, or it could be God. This cloud means the veil of another world. But he is very much like, his body language is like he doesn't want it. or perhaps he's just looking away. If you remember, in the after deck, he spills the contents of this cup back into the ocean, I believe. The Ace of Pentacles, earth, grounded, and we have two hands holding the pentacle in this one, and only one in the Rider-Waite. The Two of Pentacles. He's juggling these two coins, but here he's throwing them up in the air. In the before, he's throwing them up in the air. He is obviously a very skilled, I guess, clown gesture, but there is a choice here. This choice is up in the air. We don't know which one will be chosen. The Three of Pentacles. Three meaning collaboration, creativity. We see the architect with the construction person and the monk. And the architect is drawing out the plans, and here he's offering the artist a copy of it just before. The Four of Pentacles. We see a ruler of some sort with his pentacle, but here we have a merchant known by the red in his clothing and the red hat, usually signifying merchants. And then we have somebody here in tatters. He's got holes on the bottom of his shoe. He's got holes in his cape, also offering this leader a pentacle. And then we also have a person from the church, a monk, offering a pentacle. And he is hoarding it moments later. The Five of Pentacles. In the regular Rider-Waite, we see that the church is illuminated, so much so inside that we can see the different colors of the stained glass. Just before, it looks like somebody's in there, but not all the candles are lit. And here we have a dog. The Six of Pentacles. Generosity. Here we have a merchant, a person with money, weighing out, balancing, figuring out, yes, I do have more than I need, I'm going to give. It looks like this is the thought and this is the action. The Seven of Pentacles. Hard work, hard at work, waiting. So in this, we know that when we plant something, it takes time for it to mature. And here he seems as though he's waiting, but perhaps he's chosen which of these is matured. But here he's just being steadfast, patient, clearing the path to make sure that what he's growing has the proper space. The Eight of Pentacles, hard work. But he is displaying his artistry. This man he's got 4 pentacles up. He's working on a 5th, and there's 3 more to go. Just before we see him in the regular Rider-Waite. The Nine of Pentacles. This person is obviously the person who lives in this manor, the person who owns this property. She doesn't work on the property. She is the owner of this property. So not only does she grow her pentacles, she knows how to maintain those pentacles. And here she has a falcon. You need to be a fierce person, a strong person in order to train a falcon, because falcons are vicious birds. Once they find their prey, they latch on and are predators. Not to say that she's a predator, but to say that she is focused on her pentacles and she knows how to keep her eye on it so that it continues to grow. The 10 of Pentacles. Here we have obviously a person with money, because we can see that in the intricate nature of his robe and his clothing, holding 2 small dogs, and the mother is holding the baby. They're protected by this arch. This is their home. And if you notice, the pentacles are actually spread out as though they were in the Kabbalic tree of life. And in the regular Rider-Waite, this little guy is just a little bit older, and so are the dogs. Puppies, infant, older. The Page of Pentacles. I think he's weighing, it's like somebody who just has money, and here he is like measuring it against the sunflower's head, and I think he's satisfied. It's a huge pentacle, and now he's tasked in the regular Rider-Waite to learn what to do with it. Moments before, he's admiring it. The Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is arguably the slowest moving knight. Like, you see a person on a horse, you think they're moving super fast. And although it does signify movement, when we're thinking about Earth, which the Pentacles is, we're thinking about slowness. And here he is just like, oh, I see a pentacle. And he's reaching for it. And here we see him further along, because the scenery is different. So he is moving further along, holding on to that pentacle. The Queen of Pentacles. Moments before, a snake offers her a pentacle. Now, the serpent makes me think of the snake in the Garden of Eden. And all the queens and all of the deck are, to a degree, emotional beings. But I think here we're reminded that people can be tempted by money. That doesn't mean she makes a bad choice. It just reminds us that money is a source of temptation. The King of Pentacles. He has so many beautiful grapes, so much imagery in his clothing, and he's being offered a pentacle like the King of Cups was. And he looks like he sees it, but he isn't making any action, like moving towards it. He's got a foot on the boar's head here. Here we have the Ace of Wands. Now, the Ace of Wands in particular signify fire, they signify passion. And here we see that this is a wand with new growth as well as passion. It could also signify spirituality, because the wands signify spiritual growth. The Two of Wands. We see a merchant, a person who possibly owns this home, looking onto his son or he's his mentor, looking at this person holding the world in their hands. Perhaps he's teaching him how to do so, or guiding him toward that path in his life. In the Rider-Waite, we see the merchant himself holding the world in his hand. And if you remember, in the after deck, he gives the globe to a female, perhaps his partner. Twos meaning partnerships. He's teaching him, he holds the world, but the two wands are here. He's looking on. And perhaps he also passes it forward to another person or his partner. The Three of Wands. Here in the regular Rider-Waite, we see him, it looks like he's waiting. And here we see him holding the falcon, and he's reading a message. This bird goes off to deliver and return messages, is what I'm getting. And remember, 3 is collaboration, creativity. So perhaps the person he's reaching out to is a person he's trying to collaborate with. The 4 of Wands. The 4 of Wands. In the regular Rider-Waite, we see 2 people who have recently been married. In the before, we see them coming toward the venue, coming to the venue. And here we have their whole family, happy for them. In the after, we see them going away. Before, during. The 5 of Wands. Here we have people still trying to figure out a type of choreography. They're trying to plan something out. And so here we see 2 people with the wands and then 3 people running towards them. Perhaps this choreography isn't quite set. It got out of hand, and these 3 are trying to help settle. And they continue practicing here. I don't know if they're successful. 6 of Wands. In the before, we see this monk wearing lilies in his garment, placing a laurel wreath on the knight. He has just come home victorious from some battle or some challenge. So 6 of Wands. Here in the regular Rider-Waite, there's victory. They're praising him for his accomplishments. 7 of Wands. In the 7 of Wands here, he's praying. He sees these sticks are being held by people who are after him, and he's praying for guidance. Remember, wands meaning spirituality. And here in the regular Rider-Waite, he's standing up. He still holds the higher ground. The 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands meaning movement. And here in the before, it's upward movement. And in the regular Rider-Waite, it's downward movement. The salamander is usually a symbol of fire. The Knight of Wands. So here we see all 8 wands as though they're a barrier, but here we have a wolf or some type of wild beast coming through, breaking through. But this person is not afraid. He's got a clenched fist and he is going to fight. And we know through the regular Rider-Waite that he succeeded because he's still alive. He's just wounded. The Ten of Wands. Here we see, in the regular Rider-Waite, we see a burden because he's carrying all these wands and it doesn't seem like they're being held properly. In the before, we see him purchasing the wands. Perhaps this tells you you should plan better. Like, he can see the final outcome. He knows what he needs, but he's perhaps being hasty. And it's going to take him longer than necessary for him to get to where he's going. The Page of Wands. He's looking or reading some hieroglyphics. Pages tend to be seekers and students of whatever suit they have. So here it seems to me like he's examining. And also he's examining in the regular Rider-Waite, unlike in the before where he's examining perhaps his studies. In the regular Rider-Waite, he's examining his tool. Knight of Wands. The knight is he's on his way. He just passed these pyramids and now he's arrived at a temple of some sort. He looks happy. This doesn't seem like intense or angry. I guess he's just moving forward. The Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is a very passionate person, compassionate as well. She has a heart-shaped clasp holding on to her cloak. But she's fierce, like she's a fierce mom. And she's a nurturer as well. The King of Wands, also being offered the wand. He sees it. He sees the wand. Here, I feel like there's full acknowledgement that this hand is here. This lion perhaps personifies this king. He's got a heart of a lion. He is not afraid. And here he's taken up the task. The Ace of Swords. In the regular Rider-Waite, we see the hand with the cloud holding the sword upright with a crown above it with the palm frond and laurel hanging from the crown. Here, it's like Excalibur from the medieval story of the Sword and the Stone. And this being has removed the sword, but at the base of the stone is the crown. Moments before. The Two of Swords. Twos meaning choices. It seems if you only see the Rider-Waite, then it's a woman holding these two swords in opposition. She needs to make a choice, but she does not know. But here we understand, there's an understanding that she has chosen to not see. Perhaps because she feels that both sides have valid points and it's hard for her to make a choice. So she's letting her subconscious make the choice instead of consciously making the choice. The Three of Swords. Three of Swords. Here we see, in the before tarot deck, we see a crow flying under. Crows sometimes are signifiers of bad things about to happen. Something bad is about to happen. And if we look at the Rider-Waite, we know something bad has happened. The swords have fallen inside of the heart, piercing it, breaking it, and that it's raining. In the before, there's a warning. Now, the Three of Swords, especially with the heart, could possibly mean infidelity, or there's a third party in a monogamous relationship. However, it could also mean father, mother, and child. Perhaps there's a death in the family. The Four of Swords. In the regular Rider-Waite, we see the tomb of a knight who has died. And the Four of Swords tends to represent rest. And here we have the window, the stained glass window is open, and we have butterflies coming in, touching the hands of the knight. Swords tend to mean logic, thinking, smart strategy. The Five of Swords. All right, so here we know this person looks very cocky, very proud of himself. And just before, he's already, scared off two people, and these two we know will not win this battle. So he is very proud of himself. The Six of Swords. In the regular Rider-Waite, there's 6 swords on a boat with 2 people and someone leading these people away from choppy waters. And here we see him extending a hand, gifting her safe passage. 6, I think in all of these decks, it seems like someone's handing over something. In the 6 of Cups, in the before, they're both planting, but in the regular Rider-Waite, he's offering her a flower. In the 6 of Pentacles, we see the man weighing out that he has enough money, so he offers the money to people who he knows does not have as much of him. The 6 of Wands. The 6 of Wands is where the person's on the horse, and in the before, he's being offered a laurel wreath. So it's 6 to me is stability, and as far as the decks, it seems like it's giving gifts. The 7 of Swords. 7 of Swords. Here in the Rider-Waite, we see a person walking off, feeling clever that he has gotten away with what is obvious theft. We see people here in the campfire. I'm not sure if you can see. There's a fire going on and people are sitting around it. This could be a spy or somebody who has gained their trust and feels as though he's fooled them. But as we know in the after, he's the one being fooled. And the 8 of Swords. In the regular Rider-Waite, there is a female bondaged. Her eyes are covered. Her body is tied together, and she's surrounded or encaged by 8 swords. Just before, we see this person who looks like an executioner pushing her, like with his gloved hand. He's shoving her towards her prison. Now, swords being the intellect, perhaps this person is manipulating her into this bondage that she cannot see she can free herself from, or at the very least can walk away from. The 9 of Swords. This person in the regular Rider-Waite has woken up from a nightmare, and we see in the before, what that nightmare is, all of these swords are bloodied, but he is protected. He's protected by this blanket that has all the different zodiac signs on it. The Ten of Swords. Well, in the regular Rider-Waite, he dies. He's dead. But just before, this man is walking around, and we see that we see some people, but we see all of the swords, which could mean that although you don't see who is coming for you, it is obvious that these people have bad intentions. They could be gossiping about you or saying bad things, which could lead you to being canceled in today's terms. Page of Swords. It's windy, there's air, again, bird, falcon, off into the distance. I think it seems as though he is ready to embark. He's ready to learn. He's taken up swords. The Knight of Swords. This knight is always in action. Here he has conviction. He feels as though whatever he believes is right, and he has these people looking onto him. So he is going on the attack. And here we see him further in that attack mode. The Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords in the regular Rider-Waite is holding on to her sword. And just before, we see a cherub handing her a crown with butterflies. And we also see a cherub in her throne. Queens being emotional, queen, motherly. We do see two cherubs, but in some cases, the Queen of Swords could mean infertility. The King of Swords. All right, so here we have in the regular Rider-Waite, he's holding on to his sword. And in the just before, moments before, he is the only king that just is, he's looking at it, so he knows it's coming, but he is open to whatever is being given to him. In this case, the sword. That completes the flip through of the tarot deck before tarot, but let's see, I'm gonna do a past, present, future spread for myself using the before tarot deck and the regular Rider-Waite as well as the after. So stick around if you want to see that. Alrighty, let's go ahead and shuffle the decks. If you want, I'm gonna leave a timestamp at the bottom so that if you don't really feel like seeing me shuffle, then you don't have to. You can just see the reading right afterwards. If you are here, then this is a perfect opportunity for me to talk to you about the cards. These are really easy to handle, an easy card deck to shuffle. We got to give these a good shuffle since all the decks are in order. I just thought I kind of, seems like I bent these. I don't know. I love to shuffle my cards in whatever order, I do find that some people are very meticulous about how they shuffle, and in my opinion, it is to avoid getting reversals. I don't know if that's true or not. It's just perhaps an assumption, because there is ways you can shuffle so that all the cards, or most of the cards, are in order. For instance, if I shuffled like this, and they were all in the right direction, or even like this, yeah. Or if I shuffled, perhaps, instead of the way that I had it, which I think is called casino shuffle, which is like this. I'm not sure if you saw that on film. The cameras are pretty close to me today. Some people shuffle like this. So if all your cards are upright and you're shuffling like this, they're gonna stay upright, which, I don't know. It just doesn't feel authentic to me. But again, it's like whatever is easiest for you. There is no right, there is no wrong way to shuffle cards. And just like there is no right or wrong way to interpret your cards. All right, here we go on the Rider-Waite. Making a mess over here. These are a smaller deck, so I guess I'm just wasn't used to handling them. It's okay. So I think today what we're gonna do well, I'll tell you when I have all the cards out. It's very likely that I fast forward through this portion, because you don't really, I mean, I don't want to assume, but I don't think people care to see me shuffling the deck of cards. I think they say it's, if you can shuffle it 7 times after the deck has been in order, it should be out of order after the 7th, or properly out of order. Obviously, it's going to be out of order after 1, but then you'll have a lot of cards that are in the same suits beside each other. And then the after. But again, you can go by feeling. So many people do. What feels right to you. This is a deck this is a reading for me, so it's for myself. So it's impossible for me to do this wrong. And if you were doing it for yourself and you wanted to do it, shuffle it in another way, again, it's impossible to do it wrong. It is for you. Alrighty, I am going to let that be the shuffle sequence. I'm going to move this camera so it's a little bit further up so we have a little bit more space. and room 2. I probably should have done that before shuffling the cards. I'll shuffle one last time. I just noticed one of the stickers came off on this one and it's stuck to the back of another one. So if we pull it, we'll figure it out. And lastly, all right, we are going to pull a deck for past, present, future. And I would like to pull cards regarding my parenting, because that's such an enormous part of my life. So let's see what the cards have to say about my parenting or my relationship with my children. Past, present, future. Alrighty. We've got the 10 of Pentacles reversed, the Fool reversed, and the Page of Cups reversed. So this to me says a very poignant story. I did not come from a home where there was a traditional mother-father. I never had a pet until I was an adult. So it being upside down, yeah, I didn't come from money, and I did not come from a very well-protected structure, but there was love. And presently, I am the Fool because I am doing, this is new territory. This is absolutely no territory for me because I did not necessarily have the example that one would need in order to move forward. And so although it is optimistic in upright, reverse, it means perhaps foolishness or going in blind, which would resonate with my situation. And then the future, we have the Page of Cups. So I think this is actually very symbolic, because here we see the page who is learning, because pages are starting, they're seekers, they're learners, they're students of their suit, and cups being emotions, being, you know, an overflow of emotions. And this is the after. So he's already gotten the fish for friendship. The fish has spoken to him, told him what he needs, and now the fish has gone back in the water. Now, when you look at this upright, you might read it as a lost opportunity or wasted opportunity, but since I got it in reverse, I feel like this says that I will not waste my opportunity in this endeavor that I call parenting, or in this role I call motherhood. So I think water is very fitting, and this spread does resonate with me. So I feel like that was really cool. If you like the before tarot, I think you're gonna love the after tarot. And to me, it just makes sense to get them both if you can. If you can't, well then pick one and go from there. The before tarot and the after tarot are about $30 a piece or each deck. So it is reasonable as far as deck costs are concerned. I really hope you liked this flip through and enjoyed the entertaining portion of me putting myself out there. It was fun for me, and I hope to see you next time. We will be doing some more spreads. I think the next videos are going to be some oracle decks, but we will hop right back into doing some tarot cards. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.